At first glance, Towerborne appears as a simple Castl Crashers clone, a 4-player couch co-op beat 'em up type of game. However, upon further digging, it appears like this game may actually be much more. This is going to be an action role-playing beat 'em up game with a games as a live service approach, as it does appear as if Stoic Studios has plans to continue to support the game with plenty of future content updates post-release. Just take a look at some of the quotes from the developers themselves. "We really wanted to make a game that we could play with our families, play at conventions, make it a sit down and have fun kind of experience. We all love and are inspired by classic beat 'em up games, and we wanted to make one with persistence, where we could continue to expand the features and the gameplay modes for as long as possible. We wanted a world where players are actively exploring and opening up new parts, as opposed to one that feels like you're just opening a UI menu and thumbing through for the next mission. That was a key element to us, not wanting to do the standard MMO-like trope of going into town, 10 people have something to say to you, and then you take a bunch of quests." So yes, it definitely seems like Towerborne is not going to be your classic beat 'em up arcade style of game. While the gameplay and appearance may look that way, it has much larger ambitions. Now, I know a ton of people are going to be turned off by this, as too many games come out very bare bones and feel like they are incomplete, and use the excuse that the game is going to be ever growing through future updates. Which I hope is not the case with this title. I do hope the game actually does feel complete from day one, and that post-launch support is adding additional content to a fully completed experience. But I must admit, I already have some concerns that the game is simply going to be another unfinished product at launch. After all, it is said that this is going to be a seasonal game with an overarching storyline, which they will do updates to over time. So yeah, it sounds like even the story mode may possibly not be complete at launch, but who knows? Maybe the game will have a fully fleshed out campaign that you can enjoy from the get-go, and with these future updates they expand upon that and the lore and the world even further. Now, since this is an ever-growing world, I don't think you could have the typical set number of stages like you would see in a traditional beat 'em up game like Streets of Rage. Instead, it appears we're getting a central hub where we could encounter NPCs, link up with other players, and select what missions we want to go and accomplish. Now, this could actually work out for the better, because it means with different NPCs, we could get different quests or storylines to feed us new content. So maybe at launch we actually get the main campaign quest line from a certain NPC or faction or what have you. However, after conquering that journey, maybe a new threat arises in a future update, and now we have to go take care of that. Instead of just trickle feeding players new missions here and there during the seasons, it would be nice if we actually got like maybe a fully fledged campaign or new game mode for the seasonal updates. Another aspect to this game that will really make it stand out from others in the genre is it appears that you don't pick a character with a unique moveset. Instead, you design your character, most likely through a character creator screen, and then select which weapon set you would like to use. What is even more cool is it appears that weapon sets even have different play styles to them. An example the developers gave was this. With the sword and shield, there is one version where you can strike repeatedly with flashy attacks, and then there's another type that's more defensive, so you can take more of a protector type of role. So even within the same weapon type, like sword and shield, you could assume different types of play styles. Now that is really cool, as it allows you to really customize your character to look the way you want, and then pick the type of weapon you want to use and not be locked down to one play style. At launch, launch, the game is going to have 4 different weapons available for you to pick from, which are the war clubs, gauntlets, dual daggers, and sword and board. So in my opinion, even more weapon types would be something I would love to see in those future seasonal updates. Axes, great swords, or even polearms I think would be great additions to the game. Let me know what type of weapons you guys would like to see in the comments down below. So one more concern I have about this title is that IGN has recently put out gameplay footage from Gamescom, and why I think the game looks incredibly beautiful and actually pretty fun to play, the resolution from the footage that was released looks really blurry, to be honest. I'm unsure if it has something to do with the capture footage that IGN got from Gamescom or if it's the actual game itself. All I know is it looks like a massive downgrade from previous footage that was shown off for the game. The video they uploaded is captured or displayed on YouTube in 1080p, but honestly, if you lower it to 720, it looks exactly the same. So hopefully this has something to do with the YouTube side of things, or like I said before, something went wrong when they were capturing the footage itself, and not that the game is actually running at 720p, because the announcement trailer made this game look extraordinary with colorful backgrounds and just a really great art style. Overall, I am actually pretty excited to at least check this game out. I do have some concerns, especially with the seasonal life service approach, and I do have some concerns about that recently released footage, but it's not enough to completely turn me off of the game just yet. As, to be honest, it is releasing in Game Pass, so why not grab a group of friends and at least give it a shot? But I would love to hear what you all think. Are you guys excited for Towerborne? Do you have the same concerns as I do about games as a live service approach? Let me know your overall thoughts in the comments down below. And if you made it this far and did enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like. And if you are new, please consider subscribing. As for me, I got a ton of work to do, so I'm gonna get back to the grind, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.